this morning I want to speak a little about intelligence work, the intelligence picture, the gathering information, the processing of information, and specifically the product or the information that is produced in an information gathering process, and specifically about expropriation without compensation. I don't think there's a single person around that's not very keen on learning more about this. So let's look at the intelligence gathering process. And I've jotted during the day today. I jotted down some information, some notes. I'm going to read my definition. The sourcing of information that is systematically processed and analyzed, and then the subsequent postulation of a possible outcome is considered critical data for today's decision makers. So we look at the facts that we know. So in other words, the facts. There's no question about legislation, statements made, policy statements made, observations of facts. You see what people are saying, what is happening. So facts. Then we look at media reports, mainstream media, social media, and take into consideration what they are saying, and then we look at what we believe is going on. From those, we cobble together a possible scenario. So let's look at the facts, because it's most important that, first of all, we look at what we know. Alright, what do we know? The government has undertaken to embark on a process of expropriation without compensation. We know that's a fact. There's a process underway. It was voted in Parliament. We know that's a fact. There's nothing to debate there. The second is they have a list. The government has a list of identified farms for this process. Now, they said they have a list. Subsequently, a list was released, and people have commented on whether that is the list or isn't the list, but it is a list of farms, and certainly what was identified straight away is that some of those farms have substantial minerals contained underneath them. So whether the government says the list that is being circulated now is the right list or isn't the right list, we know there's a list because the government said there's a list, and there is a list out there which we can assume quite possibly is the correct list. Time will tell, because if farms are expropriated off that list, we'll know that those are the correct ones. But we know there's a list. Alright. The Minerals and Petroleum Act of 2002 was promulgated in 2002, obviously, and it states basically that if you own a piece of land, you have the right to use the land, but any minerals that are contained underneath the land belong to the state. That means if you have a piece of property and you discover a vein of gold under your property, you do not have the right to own all of that gold, to refine it and sell it for your own benefit. The gold is owned by the state. By the same token, if you own a piece of property and you know there's a vein of gold underneath and you choose not to mine it, nor can anyone else, herein lies the rub. Okay, so let's look at a scenario that we know exists. The oil industry, or the energy industry, the oil and coal industry. We know already that some of the farms on the list contain substantial veins of coal underneath them. That wasn't difficult to identify, because the people that know the veins of coal know who owns the farm, and have already said those farms have got veins of coal. But we're not talking about coal. Let's talk about oil. Now, not to say that I think that there's any oil under any of these farms. That's not what I'm saying. It's a slightly different picture. Let's look at the oil industry. What products does the oil industry sell? Mostly for the consumer and for industry and commerce and industry, it's diesel and petrol. Now, 20 years ago there was a swing towards diesel vehicles. Remember when Mercedes-Benz brought out their turbo diesel, C-Series turbo diesel petrol, and I drove it. I was astounded. I couldn't believe it was a diesel. I subsequently bought a Toyota Hilux, and everyone was coming to look at this Hilux 4x4 double cab KZTE turbo diesel. It was the greatest thing. Everybody was talking about it. Well, 20 years later, we're looking at the industry turning away from diesel simply because of the emissions. The emissions of diesel vehicles are definitely not as clean as the emissions of petrol vehicles. So you're seeing the emergence of supercharged petrol engines and turbocharged petrol engines, but there's certainly a swing towards petrol engines. Now, petrol engines burn cleaner, or the emissions from petrol engines are cleaner because of the catalytic converter that sits on the exhaust system. What is the catalyst in a catalytic converter? The catalyst in a catalytic converter is platinum. Right. So now we're sitting with elephants in the room, shall we say. According to StatisaSA.com, SA sits on the biggest platinum reserves, far more than the rest of the world put together. So we have the lion's share of platinum here in South Africa. So in order for the oil companies to sell more of their products, they need to swing the vehicle producers to sell more petrol burning vehicles and not diesel burning vehicles. And in order for these petrol burning vehicles to be efficient and effective in terms of environmental emission control legislation, they need to have a catalytic converter, and the catalyst in that catalytic converter is platinum. Right. So platinum. Are you starting to see the picture? Are you starting to see the picture? Right. Ultimately, petrol is a temporary solution in terms of the environmental issue. We see a swing towards electric vehicles. You see companies that are starting to become well-known brand name companies that sell electric vehicles. The mainstream car companies are making hybrids, but electric vehicles is the way to go. So petrol is it's going to be a stopgap. This whole this whole petrol thing is going to be a stopgap until such time as electric becomes mainstream. We cannot allow this greed spree going on in South Africa right now. We cannot allow it to ruin our country.